I know it makes a lot of y'all mad. But I can't get enough of this World Cup. I just love the World Cup. I'm not the world's biggest soccer fan, but the World Cup is exciting. I'm watching it for going back to the early 2000s. Anyway, you remember the brawl, Michigan versus Michigan State game? After the game, when the players were in the tunnel, and a bunch of Michigan State players, I guess, jumped on a Michigan player or two and was kicking him and slinging him around. And there was the video of the one guy, Michigan State player, slinging his helmet at one of the Michigan guys. Anyway, that video and all that was turned over for criminal investigation. It was investigated by, of course, the campus police departments, but also the Michigan State Police. Well, the Michigan State Police have finished their investigation. They turned everything over to the district attorney's office, and the district attorney has filed charges against 7 or 8 Michigan State football players. And my question right off the bat is for y'all: how do y'all feel about this in general? And I guess what I'm asking is, athletes, sports players being charged criminally. Now, this is different than, and when I talked about this at the time, this is different than heat of the moment thing on the game. Maybe you think somebody hits you late or something, and so you take a swing at them. In real life, if you're walking down the street somewhere and you take a swing at somebody, that's a crime. We see that a lot in sports. Look at baseball. They've got 20 on 20 brawls in baseball. Hockey. You see fights in football on occasion, in basketball on occasion. Generally speaking, when these things happen on the field of play, it's never even discussed or debated whether or not it should be criminal, right? It's just assumed that it's not. This, of course, did not happen on the field of play. It was after the game, sort of in the tunnel, headed to the locker room. And I think sort of the optics of it, the severity of it, in other words, it being 7, 8, 9, 10 players jumping on one guy, obviously doesn't help these players' situations. So I kind of get it, I think. I was trying to think back if I can remember a time where someone was charged, where an athlete was charged criminally. I remember in hockey, and God, this had to be 15, maybe even 20. It was a long time ago. Somebody in a hockey game, one of the players in a hockey game got mad about something, skated halfway down the rink, picked his hockey stick up basically like a sword and swung it at a guy's head. And they ended up charging him with some type of crime. But anyway, 7 or 8 of these Michigan State players, the district attorney has decided to go ahead and charge them with crimes. And the crimes range from battery and basically simple assault all the way up to felonious assault. The guy that was charged with felonious assault, is the player that's seen in the video swinging his helmet around at one of the Michigan players. I don't know if that's why that one player was charged with felonious assault, whereas the other people were charged with just like aggravated assault or battery. I'm assuming that's the reason why. But I'm just curious what a lot of you think about this. We see stuff on the field all the time, and no one is ever charged, and it's never even really suggested that anyone should be charged. You see football brawls sometimes, where whether it's a one-on-one thing, a two-on-two, we've seen huge groups, a whole teams fighting each other. It was a big one in Clemson, South Carolina games 10 years ago or whatever. You see it all the time. No one's ever charged. I'm just curious what y'all think about this. Obviously, right, it makes a difference. I think that this was not during the game. It didn't happen on the field of play. It wasn't emotions spilling over after a big play or a late hit. It was several minutes after the game had ended. It occurred off the field in the tunnel. It was some amount, 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever amount of guys kind of, teaming up on one person. I think all of that stuff kind of makes this different than your typical athlete on athlete altercation maybe that you see on a basketball court, on a football field, even team versus team in baseball when a batter gets beamed in the head and, you got 20 people pretending to fight on the pitcher's mound. To me, I guess I do see where this is different, and I'm just curious what y'all think about this, and what do you think is going to end up happening? Do you, what I think is going to happen? Most of these people involved, I'm going to go ahead and assume, don't have much, if any, of a criminal record at all. And I'm assuming that a lot of this stuff is going to get pled down, and kids are going to get probation and fines and community service and stuff like that. I don't know that anything I saw in that tunnel rises to the level of ruining someone's life. Like I'm not. I don't think anything I saw in that tunnel makes me say, "Wow, this person needs to be thrown in jail and throw the key away," type of deal, right? Now I don't know these people's histories and backgrounds, obviously, but I'm just assuming that. But um, it kind of sets a precedent, though, in the world of college football that, look, we're not going to tolerate this again. I just saw where this was published, that the investigation was complete, had been turned over to the prosecutor's office, and they've decided to press charges against 7 or 8 players. So just thought I would get on here. I'm just curious you guys' opinions on this. Do you think the players should have been charged? Yes or no? And if so, do you think these are the right charges? And what do you think's ultimately going to happen to them? Do you think I can't imagine any of these people going to jail over this? I really can't. Even the guy with the felonious assault, I would imagine this is going to be some type of probation type of deal. But anyway, let me know what you think.